Welcome to Living in Beauty. It's Sunday, September 6th, 2020, day 1511 on the road, and we're in Santa Barbara, California. It all began as a bucket list thing. For decades, I'd heard about Dead Horse Point and hoped one day to see this place, which inspires rapturous testimonials about the views, the beauty, the grandeur, which many travelers will swear on a stack of red rock shale rivals the Grand Canyon. If canyons had a beauty contest, I'd be a terrible judge. They're all winners to me. But if you're looking to avoid crowds, Dead Horse Point is a good bet. In mid-June, at Boyd Lake State Park, I asked Jim, the master of navigation details, if we'd be near Moab as we exit Colorado. He confirmed that we'd pass through Moab and Arches on our way to Vinny's North Bay Airstream repair. But Moab would be hot in late July, high 90s, low hundreds. Maybe we should save Dead Horse Point for some future spring or autumn. You see, we had an agreement to keep summer 2020 about staying cool in the mountains, to camp within walking distance of rivers and lakes. And so far, we'd successfully beat the major heat waves. So I explained to Jim that Dead Horse Point is right beside the Colorado River and only 2,000 feet above the shoreline. Due to that altitude, it can be 20 degrees cooler than the valley. The park's proximity to Moab and Arches and Canyonlands makes Dead Horse Point one of the most popular campgrounds in Utah. So, even if we decided to go, it was doubtful we'd be able to secure a reservation on such short notice. The word doubtful was part truth, part strategy. Hearing that something can't be done triggers Jim's can-do impulse. He ducked into a phone booth, and right then and there, he accessed his super reservation powers to secure a 12-day stay. Never doubt the scheduling abilities of Jim Bobo. After a quick online dash into Reserve America, he spotted 2 openings, a campsite for the first 8 days, and then another right next door for an additional 4 days. Precisely the time frame we wanted. The stars were aligned, living the dream. Now, be warned that there are at least 2 campgrounds named Dead Horse in the United States. Do not confuse dreamy Dead Horse Ranch in Cottonwood, Arizona, where we stayed for 2 weeks in May, with Dead Horse Point in Utah. Our friends Cindy and Lee, long-term camp hosts at Dead Horse Ranch, have suffered the anguish of breaking the news to confused arrivals that their campsite reservation is hundreds of miles away. Dead Horse Point, in Utah, has no water at the site, only electricity. So before heading up, we filled the freshwater tank to capacity. Yes, the silicone patch is still holding up. And emptied the black and gray tanks. This campground is 45 minutes from services, so we stocked up on provisions and topped off our diesel. But all this preparation was for me like doing the happy dance. Dead Horse Point, here we come. A peninsula of rock, atop sheer sandstone cliffs, Dead Horse Point is connected to the mesa by a narrow strip of land called the Neck. There's some conflict about the history of how this promontory received its name. A turn-of-the-century legend goes, wild mustangs roamed the mesa tops, and cowboys rounded them up and herded them across the Neck, which was only 30 yards wide. The Neck, closed off with a rudimentary fence tied together with branches and brush, the point made a natural corral surrounded by sheer cliffs, so the horses could not escape. From the point, cowboys would sort out the herd and let the broomtails go free. This went on for decades until, for some unknown reason, the herd was left alone during a long, dry period. Within view of the Colorado River 2,000 feet below, the poor horses either died of thirst or plunged to their deaths. There are 2 campgrounds for RVs at Dead Horse Point and a yurt village as well. The original Kayenta Campground rests in a beautiful red rock area and has 21 sites which are suitable for tents and RVs. The new and larger Wingate Campground has 20 RV campsites, 11 tent-only sites, and 4 yurts. The Moenkopi area has 5 yurts. The yurts are furnished with a bunk bed, futon, dining tables, indoors and outdoors, air conditioning and heater units, lamp, barbecue grill, and a fire pit. Pets, smoking, and cooking are not allowed inside the yurts. Most of the Wingate RV sites are back in. There are 11 pull-through sites. We saw one pull-through accommodate a 45-foot motorhome and a 20-foot enclosed trailer for a Jeep with room to spare. Off-roading is popular here, and these campsites can easily accommodate all the necessary toys. Not only are the Wingate sites spacious, there is a generous expanse of natural landscape between sites, creating beautiful sightlines for birdwatching, sunsets, and stargazing. Most sites are about 50 feet apart, and some are more than 100 feet. Dead Horse Point is a social distancing mecca. The back-end sites can easily handle a 50-foot rig. Most of the Kayenta sites are older, smaller, and closer together. This is the best area for car camping, vans, and minimalist rigs. With plenty of old-growth trees and shrubs, Kayenta sites are cozy with tall, dense, natural green screen between most sites. The Wingate tent-only sites are nicely spaced apart for privacy. They are minimally developed, and some sites are shady. There is no electrical outlet at the tent-only sites. Tent campers must walk in from a parking lot which is between 20 and 200 yards away, depending on the site. But there is a reward. The sites furthest from the parking lot have more privacy and better views. Immediately upon arrival, the feeling of being on top of the world takes over. Maybe because you feel so very small, you start thinking big thoughts. And this new artistically designed campground uses the wide-open terrain to maximize the expansive views where it feels that the juncture of land and sky is sharp enough to cleave you open to the bone. It's kind of like having your own private retreat. Each site also provides a raised gravel tent pad. We couldn't think of enough ways to use all this infrastructure. We didn't need the tent pad because the shelter was sufficient to store our bikes. Many campers bedecked their shelter with elaborate accoutrement, decorations, lights, and privacy screens to maximize their space. Next time, we'll bring some bling. But another advantage of the older Kayenta campground is its proximity to the North Rim, where a partial canyon view is visible from one side of the campground. Wingate campers must walk about a quarter mile to view the rim. Each Wingate RV site has 20, 30, and 50 amp electrical service. No sewer, no water. But do not despair. Within about 50 yards of each campsite, there are flush toilets and sinks with running water. Water is trucked up the mountain from Moab, so it is required that all RV campers arrive with full tanks and plenty of drinking water. Outdoor dishwashing sinks are positioned on the perimeter of each restroom. These stations are clearly posted for dishwashing only and not for refilling fresh water tanks or bathing of any kind. To ensure our water lasted for 12 days, I made a daily trek, sometimes 2, to the dishwashing station to fill our collapsible tub and take the water back to the trailer for dishwashing. Since only cool water is provided, we boiled some of the water for a more sanitizing wash. Then, to conserve our gray water, I took the used water back to the station and dumped it down the sink. Voila! This method relieves campers from having to wait in line as others try to wash dishes in cold water at the campground sink. There are several full-flush restrooms with sinks and running water. A couple of vault toilet restrooms are conveniently positioned near the trailheads. Every station was spotless and free of foul odors. Due to the scarcity of water, no laundry rooms or showers are provided. A complimentary sewer dump is provided near each campground entrance. The dump station at Wingate accommodates 2 RVs at once. It also provides a hose to flush out the tanks. We've seen a lot of dump station configurations, but this was new. The 2 sewer inlets merge into an open pit, which is only covered with a metal grate. So, as you prepare to open the tank to release black water, stand away from the grate, pull up your COVID mask, and avert your eyes and nose. You're welcome. Each campground has a refuse station near the entrance in the sewer dump area. We didn't find any sorting bins marked for recyclables, so we packed that stuff out. The entire campground is asphalt paved, including each RV site. Indigenous plantings, flowers and grasses are softly landscaped with local rock and gravel. The juniper bushes were loaded with berries. It is important to stay on developed paths to protect the landscape and to prevent thorn injuries. I confess that I had to learn this lesson the hard way. Hiking boots are recommended at all times. The wind is unpredictable. On our first day, powerful, unpredicted wind gusts uprooted a neighboring tent and blew it into our site. Due to these surprise gusts, we never left our awning out unattended. But the temperatures were surprisingly comfortable in late July to early August. It remained in the mid-80s for the first week and rose to the mid-90s during the second week. Every day at about 2 p.m., we switched on the air conditioner until the cool hours began at about 6 p.m. At sundown, we opened the windows and welcomed the cool, dry breeze. No Wi-Fi is provided, but since Wingate Campground is a bit higher in elevation than the Kayenta Campground, we harnessed 3 LTE bars with our WeBoost cell booster. Data speeds were up to 10 megabits at times, and at other times as slow as 600 kilobits. This was a treat, since we were connectivity starved for most of this mountain-high summer in Arizona, Colorado, Nevada, Utah. It was a hoot to live stream movies almost every night at Dead Horse, of all places. Pets are allowed at the campground, leashed at all times, but it is not safe for pets to run free. The rim is dangerous. Properly leashed dogs are allowed on the hiking trails to the various overlooks. Equipped doggy stations are provided throughout the campgrounds. Just an FYI, there is a wise policy forbidding dogs on trails inside Arches and Canyonland National Parks. So in order to view those areas, we made Pico comfortable in the air-conditioned trailer. We were always home by 2 p.m., just in case of a campground or area-wide blackout, which actually occurred while we were there. Dead Horse and the surrounding area is a hiking wonderland. There are 7 overlooks around the campground, all marked at trailheads. The main one, Dead Horse Point Overlook, is also vehicle accessible and has a parking lot and beautiful picnic area. The views are rewarding, so visually exciting. But please, dear Living in Beauty followers, if you go to Dead Horse, do not venture too close to the edge. On the day we arrived, we heard the dreadful news that a poor man had slipped from one of the popular viewpoints and fell 200 feet to his death. Our hearts go out to his family. Not even professional photography, much less our amateur efforts, can comprehensively explain the depths, shapes, and colors of these canyons. But thanks to our zoom camera and binoculars, we were able to explore from a safe distance. Because of Jim's injury, we couldn't ride bikes this time, but an intricate mountain biking trail system begins at the north end of the Visitor Center parking lot, with 8 trails ranging from easy to very difficult. Hikers are allowed on the bike trails, but dogs are not. Dead Horse Point State Park is recognized as an international dark sky park and is the most active and accessible place to stargaze in the Moab region. My friend Morgan visited there during dark nights and watched a meteor shower which lasted from dark till past dawn. Even on a full moon night, the stars were breathtaking. $40 a night may seem a bit steep for an RV site with no water, but considering the location, Dead Horse Point is a bargain. It's only 32 miles to Moab, 12 miles to Canyonlands, and a mere 27 miles to Arches. Tent-only sites are $35 a night, and yurts with spectacular view decks are only $140 a night. The staffed visitor center explains the history, geology, and biology of the area. Plus, they sell 8 pounds of glorious ice for about $3 a bag. Good value, since the nearest convenience store is 15 miles away. The phone number for the visitor center is 435-259-2614. Campsites are available for reservation year-round on a 4-month rolling basis. For example, on January 10th, sites are available for reservation through May 10th. Canyonlands National Park is only 20 miles away, so we took the scenic drive twice. With our senior pass, entrance was free. Arches was a magical, half-day, driving-only adventure. With Jim's foot still in the boot, we viewed most of the famous scenery from the truck while sipping tall tumblers of iced tea. For restaurants, shopping, and hospital, Moab is the place. Following Jim's medical appointments at Moab General Hospital, the dining at Thai Bella made his foot feel all better. We also met our traveling friends Marion and Tom Zimmerman at Thai Bella and had so much fun catching up that we forgot to take a group photo. Okay, next time. Dead Horse Point is on State Route 313, 18 miles off Highway 191 near Moab. There is no official address for the park, but the GPS coordinates for the campground are latitude 38.4838, longitude -109.7385. Even if you don't have time to camp, the views are worth the drive from Moab, or as a side trip from your campsite at Canyonlands National Park. A $20 vehicle pass for up to 8 passengers is good for 3 consecutive days. The park is open daily from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., and the Visitor Center is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. year-round, except for Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, and New Year's Day. In the fog of morning, we broke camp. A war party of hummingbirds surrounded me, protesting as I reached through the tangle of juniper to unhook the feeder. "Ah, don't saddle me with guilt," I whined. Then a young, muscular gust of chill autumn air galloped through. I turned my head and caught the fragrance of waterfalls and transitioning aspen woods with shimmering golden leaves in places that might as well have been as distant as the moon. The wind twisted the branches corkscrew, slinging the feeder to the ground. The nectar vanished into parched earth. The birds dashed away. Just another disappointment in this beautiful place of sheer loss deprivation, broken promises, where everything is impossible and nothing is always possible. Later, as we pulled out, I deleted Dead Horse Point from my bucket list, and then entered it in again. I'm captured. Thank you for joining us at Living in Beauty. If you like this post and want to be notified when a new one is released, please enter your email address and click the follow button at the bottom of this page. For more info, check out our travel maps and facts. Okay, that's it for now. Safe and happy travels, and see you next time.